In a bustling compound in the heart of Lagos, Mama Kemi and Mama Samuel lived as neighbors. Their homes were side by side, and their bond was as strong as family. Despite their differences in parenting style, they were inseparable friends. Mama Kemi, strict and disciplined, believed in firm rules and order. On the other hand, Mama Samuel was gentle and easygoing, rarely raising her voice. Both women were hardworking traders, often spending their days at the market. This left little time for their children, Kemi and Samuel, who had grown up together like siblings. At 12 years old, the two were inseparable, sharing secrets, doing homework, and playing games around the compound. Their laughter echoed through the dusty yard, a constant reminder of their youthful joy. One day, during a casual conversation at dinner, Samuel told his mother, "Mama, I need a phone. All my classmates have one. I feel left out." Mama Samuel paused, her spoon midway to her mouth. "A phone? Samuel, don't you think you're too young for that?" "But Mama, it's not just for games. I can use it to study too," Samuel argued, his big, hopeful eyes looking up at her. Mama Samuel sighed, unsure if her son was ready for such responsibility. She decided to set a condition. "If you can come first in your class this term, I'll buy you a phone. But only if you prove you deserve it." Samuel's eyes lit up with determination. From that day forward, he studied harder than ever, pouring all his energy into his books. Even Kemi noticed a change. "You're really serious about this phone, aren't you?" She teased him one evening as they worked on their math homework together. "I'll show Mama I can do it," Samuel replied confidently. When the term ended, Samuel achieved his goal. He came home clutching his report card, beaming with pride. "Mama, look. First position." Mama Samuel couldn't hide her joy. She hugged him tightly and promised to keep her word. True to her promise, she bought Samuel a sleek new iPhone. It was more advanced than Samuel had ever imagined, and he was overjoyed. From that day on, the phone became Samuel's favorite possession. He used it to play games, watch cartoons, and explore the internet. Kemi often joined him, and the two spent hours laughing at funny videos and sharing silly games. One sunny afternoon, Samuel and Kemi sat in his room, glued to the phone. "Let's see what else we can find," Samuel said, scrolling through apps. Kemi nodded, her eyes wide with curiosity. "This phone has so much." Their innocent exploration marked the of something neither of them could have predicted, a journey that would test their friendship and their innocence. One quiet afternoon, while Mama Kemi and Mama Samuel were away at the market, Samuel and Kemi sat in Samuel's room, as they often did. Samuel was busy scrolling through his phone, navigating various apps and videos, while Kemi watched over his shoulder. Suddenly, Samuel paused. "What's this?" he asked, clicking on an unfamiliar icon. The screen lit up with a collection of videos. The thumbnails were unusual, unlike the cartoons and games they usually enjoyed. Samuel tapped on one out of curiosity, and the video began to play. It showed something strange, adults behaving in ways the children didn't understand. Samuel and Kemi stared at the screen, their faces a mix of confusion and curiosity. "What are they doing?" Kemi whispered, her voice barely audible. Samuel hesitated, his brows furrowed. "I think it's something adults do. I've heard older boys at school talk about things like this." Kemi's face flushed. "Should we be watching this? It feels wrong." Samuel shrugged, unable to tear his eyes away. "It's just a video. It's not like we're doing anything bad." But deep down, both children felt uneasy. The video ended, but instead of closing the app, Samuel clicked on another one. As the minutes passed, their uneasiness turned into fascination. They didn't fully understand what they were watching, but the mystery of it drew them in. "Let's not tell anyone about this," Samuel said finally, his voice firm. "It's our secret." Kemi nodded, though a part of her wanted to tell her mother. She knew, however, that Mama Kemi wouldn't take it lightly. Her strict mother was quick to punish, and Kemi couldn't imagine the consequences if she found out. From that day on, Samuel and Kemi's afternoons changed. Whenever their mothers were away, they would lock themselves in Samuel's room to watch more of the forbidden videos. The once innocent laughter that used to echo through the compound was replaced by whispered conversations and stolen glances. Days turned into weeks, and the secret began to affect their friendship. They no longer played outside or did their homework together like they used to. Instead, their bond revolved around the hidden world they had discovered. One day, Kemi turned to Samuel as they sat in his room. "Do you think it's bad that we're watching these videos?" she asked, her voice trembling. Samuel looked uncomfortable. "It's just videos, Kemi. It's not like we're doing anything wrong." "But what if Mama finds out?" Samuel's expression hardened. "She won't. We just have to keep it a secret." Kemi nodded, but her unease grew with each passing day. Then one fateful afternoon, Kemi said something that shocked Samuel. "What if we try doing what they're doing in the videos?" Samuel froze. "What? No. That's not a good idea, Kemi." "But why not?" Kemi insisted. "If it's something adults do, maybe we can understand it better." Samuel shook his head, his heart pounding. "I don't think it's right. What if we get caught?" But Kemi wouldn't let the idea go. Her curiosity was stronger than her fear, and she kept bringing it up until Samuel reluctantly agreed. The first time they tried, it didn't go as planned. Kemi felt a sharp pain and quickly told Samuel to stop. She ran out of the room, tears streaming down her face. For days, she avoided Samuel, refusing to talk to him or even look his way. Samuel felt terrible. He wanted to apologize but didn't know how. Finally, after several days, he approached Kemi at school. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I shouldn't have agreed." Kemi hesitated before nodding. "It's okay. Let's just forget about it." Their friendship slowly returned to normal, but things were never quite the same. And then one random day, Kemi surprised Samuel again. "I think we should try it again," she said bluntly. Samuel stared at her in disbelief. "What?" "Kemi, no. The last time." "I want to," Kemi interrupted. "This time will be different. Please, Samuel. Don't disappoint me." Samuel's heart sank. He didn't want to say yes, but he couldn't bear the thought of upsetting Kemi. Reluctantly, he agreed. One day after school, Samuel and Kemi decided to stay behind in an empty classroom. The school was quiet and most of the students and teachers had gone home. Kemi looked at Samuel with determination in her eyes. "Are you sure about this?" Samuel whispered nervously, glancing around. Kemi nodded. "We'll be quick. No one will know." They slipped into the school toilet, hearts pounding with both fear and anticipation. Just as they were about to try what they had seen in the videos, the sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor. "Someone's coming," Samuel hissed, grabbing Kemi's arm. Panic set in as the footsteps grew louder. The children bolted out of the toilet, running in different directions. It was the school security guard, making his routine rounds. Fortunately, he didn't see them, but the close call left them shaken. When they got home that evening, both Mama Kemi and Mama Samuel were still at work. Alone in the compound, Kemi turned to Samuel and said, "We have to try again." This time, at home, Samuel hesitated. His fear evident. "I don't know, Kemi. What if someone catches us?" "No one's here," Kemi insisted. "Our mothers won't be back for hours." Reluctantly, Samuel agreed. They went into Samuel's room and locked the door. Just as they were about to start, the sound of the front door opening startled them. "Samuel, are you home?" Mama Samuel's voice rang out. Samuel and Kemi froze, their faces pale with fear. Mama Samuel's footsteps approached the room, and she knocked on the door. "Samuel, why is this door locked?" Scrambling to cover up their actions, Mama Samuel's sharp eyes darted between Samuel and Kemi. Something about their behavior seemed off. "What's going on here?" she asked, her voice firm. Kemi looked down at the floor, unable to meet her gaze. Samuel stammered, trying to come up with an excuse, but his mother wasn't convinced. "Both of you sit down," Mama Samuel commanded. "Now tell me the truth. What have you been doing?" The children exchanged nervous glances. They knew they couldn't hide the truth any longer. With trembling voices, they confessed everything. The videos, their curiosity, and their attempts to mimic what they had seen. Mama Samuel listened in stunned silence, her heart sinking with every word. She felt a wave of guilt wash over her. How had she missed this? Had her focus on her business blinded her to her son's needs? Taking a deep breath, she said, "Stay here. I need to talk to Mama Kemi." Mama Samuel walked across the compound to Kemi's house and told her everything. Mama Kemi's face turned pale with shock. She stood up abruptly, pacing the room. "This is all Kemi's fault," she snapped. "She's the one leading Samuel astray." Mama Samuel shook her head firmly. "No, it's not just Kemi. Both of them are involved, and we need to handle this together as mothers." For the first time, Mama Kemi sat down, her usual strict demeanor replaced by worry. "What do we do?" she asked quietly. "We need to talk to them. And more importantly, we need to get them help." Mama Samuel replied, "Therapy, counseling, whatever it takes to guide them back to the right path." The two mothers returned to Samuel's house and had a long talk with the children. They explained the dangers of the content they had been watching, and why their actions were harmful, though their words were gentle. The children could feel the weight of their disappointment. After that day, things changed in the compound. Mama Kemi became more attentive to Kemi, softening her strict ways to create a more open and trusting relationship. Mama Samuel, on the other hand, made an effort to spend more time with Samuel, realizing that her leniency had left him without proper guidance. Eventually, both families agreed to seek professional help for the children. Therapy sessions helped Samuel and Kemi understand the consequences of their actions and the importance of making better choices. Despite the efforts to mend the situation, the bond between the two families was never the same. Mama Kemi decided to relocate to another state, hoping to give Kemi a fresh start away from the memories of what had happened. As the moving truck pulled away, Samuel watched from the compound, feeling a mix of sadness and relief. He had learned a hard lesson, one that would stay with him for the rest of his life. Moral of the story: it's important for parents to spend time with their kids, talk to them about safe and responsible phone use, and teach them about the dangers of certain content. Phones are tools that can help children learn and communicate, but they should be given only when a child is mature enough to handle them responsibly. Drop your opinion on the comment. At what age do you think parents should buy a phone for their children?